Hi guys, this is Sin and welcome back to my channel Stampin' Munchkins. Today we are doing the Back to Basics hop, and this hop is a bunch of us getting together to show you that you don't need the greatest and latest products, but let's use what we have in our craft room and just a technique here and there. I hope you enjoy. The next person on the hop will be in my description box. I hope you hop along and like what you see. On screen are the two cards we're making today. I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. These are the products we're using today, plus I'll have extra later. Everything will be listed and linked in my description box as usual. So this is called Back to Basics, and even though not everyone has these stamps or maybe even a MISTI tool, but I'm using what I have in my stash. So I cut my Nina Classic Crest Solar White in half, and I'm using my Altenew layering die. This is a fairly simple one. It's just 3 layers, and most everyone has colored ink pads, so that is what I'm using. I'm hoping that you all do. So I'm doing the outline first. I looked at the booklet that comes with all Altenew stamp sets to see how they want us to stamp it. So I'm doing the outline first in the darkest image, or sorry, the darkest color in my 3 color set. And I decided I'm going to bring in a blue also. And I'm using my MISTI so I can rotate my white paper, white cardstock, and I'll get 2 images. Since I have it out, I might as well do it. So I'm doing the blue, and also the outline, I'm doing it in the darkest shade. I'm not using black, I'm doing the darkest of that color set. Now the second layer, I looked at the layering guide to see where I would like it to go as a reference, and it was pretty easy to line up. And I am inking it a few times because I never used this stamp before, and I forgot to condition it, so it was kind of beating up. So I'm just doing it several times, and it will lighten up as these are dye-based ink pads, and it will excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. It will sink into the Nina cardstock. So I'm flipping it over and doing it again. And then this is another tip: when you're using layering stamps, use the index guide and move it around to see where the layer would go, and that will give you a reference on where to place your stamp for the next layer. I inked it up and I could see that I was a little off, so I took it off, cleaned it, and put it back. And this is a better, I could see that it was better. I didn't stamp it down. I just held it up so I could see through it. So that's the third layer and darkest. I'm sorry, not the darkest. The darkest was the outline, and then the second layer was the lightest, and then the third layer here is the mid-tone. So I'm using the die that came with it, and I'll be putting that through my Gemini Junior. And you will see in a second that this the bottom plate wasn't all the way up, so it had a little area that didn't cut through. So I just tore it off, and I'll fix that later, and it's an easy fix. So if that happens to you, don't panic, and we can fix it without using scissors. We'll just use the die again. So now I'm cutting the pink flower, and I was going to use my scissors, but I'm like, nope, let me use the die. So what you do is you put the die back on. It kind of clicks into place. You can kind of feel that it clicks, and you just push it through again, and you don't get any double cutting, it cleans perfect, and it'll just get rid of the part that you missed. So now this is the Gina K bubblegum pink cardstock, and I cut that in half at 4 1/4, and I'm scoring it at 5 1/2 to make top folding cards, and that'll be my card base. And I'm pointing to what I thought I was going to use, but I changed my mind, and this is all from one stamp set, so that was a basic thing too. Try to use everything from one stamp set, so you don't need, 5 different stamp sets to make a card. So I hope that helps too. I'm using Versamark, which most of us have, white embossing powder. This is Brutus Monroe Alabaster. I'm using a Misty, and you totally don't have to, but I'm not confident in my stamping, even though I've been doing this for 25 plus years. Now that the Misty tool is available, or any stamp platform, it's a must-have tool in any paper crafter's craft room. I mean, it's one thing that I really think we don't need it, but it makes life so much easier. So anyway, I'm doing embossing. I usually don't do the inside cards because I'm not quite sure when I make the card who I'm going to send it to. But I am doing the inside of this one because it goes along with the outside. So I believe this one says amazing things will happen. Something like that. And I do it twice. When I do embossing or any type of stamping, I usually don't take the stamp off of the Misty until I know it's completely finished. So again, putting the powder tool, using my Versamark, adding the white embossing powder, tap off the excess, heat it up. I'm using my Wagner dual heat gun, and I did it twice. I'm using my Swiffer, sorry, my Swiffer tool to get all the powder off. I hate the embossing powder everywhere. So get that off, buff it off, and I'm just using foam tape to lift up this super simple card. It just has that one flower, 3 layers, and the outside says keep on dreaming, and the inside, I hope you enjoyed these still shots, and the inside says good things will come, or something. Amazing things will happen if you keep dreaming. So I hope you enjoyed. Super simple card, clean and simple, using basic supplies in our craft room. Which one did you like, the pink or the blue? Okay, thanks again so much for being here. I hope you like this video that's shown, and please click on it, or the card making playlist, and as always, click on my face to subscribe. Thanks guys. Aloha.